a customer engagement and analytics platform. On the basis of a SaaS model, we provide a basket of solutions that allow them to launch products, engage with healthcare professionals, generate insights, etc. And ultimately, this is a kind of a rep in your pocket. However, we do it in a manner that is transparent, ethical, and scientific. So from a traction perspective, as I mentioned, we generate more than 1 million searches a month. We've penetrated more than half of the South African healthcare professional audience. And from a pharma perspective, we've onboarded most of the larger multinationals operating in South Africa, like Pfizer, Novartis, Johnson & Johnson. From a market perspective, as I mentioned, it's a $30 billion market across the continent. We've managed to execute deals in 3 other African territories. And what we're really looking at here is a solution that is able to localize and scale to areas around the world that have complex health ecosystems and pharma ecosystems. So not only the African continent, but areas such as Brazil, India, the Middle East, for example. Now, from a competition perspective, EMguidance really sees competition on 2 fronts. It is the market to provide the leading medicine service and support service to healthcare professionals. And on the other hand, the market to compete for the pharma dollar, provide a range of digital solutions to pharma. On both those fronts, we are very much geared to win. And it's really to do with the detail around the comprehensiveness of the EMguidance medicines database, the tools and algorithms that we have, as well as the basket and versatile solutions that we provide to pharma to solve this customer access need. The EMguidance database is unique and proprietary and supported by a network of academic and medical institutions around the country, and really the source of the competitive advantage. From a team perspective, 2 medical doctor founders and 2 of our early investors turned operators on our executive team with SaaS and data business backgrounds, as well as a network of supporters and advisors in the medicines and pharma ecosystem. From a roadmap perspective, the key here is really to pour fuel on fire on the existing product. However, critically, we understand that the medicines business is not only about pharma. The same data asset that EMguidance has developed is now being rolled through APIs into what is the largest pharmacy dispensing system in South Africa to drive intelligent dispensing by pharmacies. As an example, opening up a new customer segment on the same data asset. We see a longer-term future with other healthcare stakeholders in the medicine space. So going forward, EMguidance seeks to raise $2 million in what we see as a late-stage seed round, really to drive expansion and localization of the platform into further African territories, as well as set up an EMguidance global HQ offshore, from which we would further develop our global operation.
Yasin, sorry, I have to stop you there.
Perfect.
Thank you. Over time a bit, which means your Q&A session will be a bit shorter, but it's fine. Thank you for that. I can start with Hannah. Do you have any questions for Yasin?
Thank you very much for this great presentation and for quite an interesting venture. Just to confirm, your clients are both doctors and pharmacists, is that correct?
Doctors and pharmacists on the user end and pharmaceuticals on the paying customer end.
Okay, great. And the the pharmaceutical companies, okay, are the paying customers. So how do you make sure that not only the big pharma companies can actually subscribe to your database and placing your products, and how do you ensure that smaller pharmaceutical companies can also contribute and place their medication? Is it inclusive from that perspective?
It's absolutely open and inclusive. And we ensure that it's a standard and transparent retail rate that's open to global pharma, with space for originators and generics within the platform.
Okay. Question number 2, how much revenues are you generating to date?
As of January, we generate $850,000 worth of annual recurring revenue.
Okay, fantastic. And last question, you mentioned that you want to expand to Francophone Africa. If you look at countries like DRC or even Nigeria, by the way, counterfeit medicines is really an issue. Is there something that you can come up with your database to try to fight this issue as well? Or it's not something you have thought about yet, which is fine as well, but I'm just telling you it's something you have to.
It's not primarily on our roadmap. It is something our platform can speak to. I am very well aware and quite close to some other startups that are tackling that with very specific solutions. So partnership.
And I know one I could introduce you to as well. So we can chat after this event. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Hannah, and thank you, Yassine. Can I share your screen now? All right, next up on the stage.
Can I ask a quick question, or we run out of time?
We're out of time, but very quickly, Nick, very quickly. We'll give you 20 seconds.
Very quickly, Yassine, do you have to redo your database in order for each new territory? Considering that's your key asset, do you need to redo it for each territory, or how transferable is it?
In Africa, it's a 10 to 20% localization. It's 2 or 3 pharmacists for a 3 to 6 month period. Not redoing the entire database, but the localization is actually the value. So we would do that from territory to territory.
Yeah. Okay, great, thank you.
Right, thanks, guys, thanks. All right, next up on stage, we have Mobiz. Is Greg here with us today?
Yeah.
Hi, Greg. Hi, Greg, how are
you guys?
Fantastic. Please share your screen with us, Greg. All right, great. I'm going to start my timer for 3 minutes, then ready when you are.
Cool. Hi, everyone. My name is Greg Chen. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Mobiz. We enable marketers to build instant, meaningful moments with their customers because most of them are being completely ignored. And that's because email marketing is oversaturated. Mobile push notification requires an app and can be easily switched off. Personalized and targeted mobile campaigns actually think of a past as we move into a cookieless world. So SMS marketing is still the most robust and responsive platform. However, it is oversimplified. So Mobiz is here to help marketers maximize this channel by enabling them to take SMS seamlessly online with our easy-to-use code-free platform that delivers effective hyper-personalization at scale. In South Africa, our digital engagement are all data cost-free due to our partnership with all major carriers, thereby delivering at least 2 times more engagement than any other online channel. And this has shown a tremendous return on investment for our clients. Over 2020, they've seen 4 times more sales conversion than any other digital channel, 20 times more engagement than the email and SMS campaign counterparts. And during the peak trading season, they've exceeded more than 30% click-through rates. Our technology is validated by some of the most loved brands in South Africa. And over the past several years, we've delivered over 600 million engagements, and that's over 20,000 campaigns. So what does it mean for Mobiz? Well,
sorry, I can't get sound.
3 times year-on-year revenue growth. Hi, can you hear me? Can everyone else hear me?
Yeah, yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, cool. So over 2020, the most turbulent time in our modern history, Mobiz was able to generate 3 times more revenue than 2019, $1.1 to $4 million in 2020. That represents a 5% market share in our home country of 100 million. But in the next 45 days, we'll be launching our complete self-service and self-onboarding product into the US. And at its infancy, it's already a $5 billion market growing at 20.3% compounded annually. But why US now? Simply because 70% of US consumers prefers getting SMS promotion than any other channel. Of course, we realize there are well-funded competitors in that space, but none of them have the personalization, customization, and ease of use as Mobiz. They don't even come close. And just as importantly, we are able to scale 3 times more capital efficient, being based Cape Town than our counterparts in the US. We're backed by Havag and Canon Venture Partners in South Africa, as well as the Alchemist Accelerator, the leading B2B accelerator in Silicon Valley. We have a diverse and talented leadership team that's super passionate about what we're building, with founders that have more than 15 years in mobile software innovation. MailChimp has made email marketing accessible to SMBs, and we're doing the same for SMS. We're currently raising $4 million to catalyze our growth in the US market. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you very much. Yeah, now we're going to stage the judges for questions. Nick, can we start with you?
Sure, great. Very, very good pitch. Well done. I mean, you guys seem to be doing great stuff. You know, this is the kind of market. Well, my understanding of this is kind of market that you know is the next kind of the next interesting thing. But as soon as it gets too crowded, then people switch that off. You know, people turn around and go, okay, well, you know, I'm getting spammed. You know, the personalized emails were cool for a while, but then you're gonna go, oh no, this is spam. How do you prevent that? Do you prevent that? I mean, when does that happen?
Well, that's actually the purpose of why we actually got into the market, and that's the area where we aim to disrupt in South Africa, and I think we have succeeded on that on most parts. And then the key thing is content relevance. To really break through that ignore barrier, content needs to be relevant, and that means it needs to be opt-in and needs to be personalized. And once the consumer trusted brands, then engagement rates will increase. And this is why our platform is one of the only technology, direct marketing technology, that sees increasing click-through rates as marketers use our product more and more. And that's also one reason why it's really interested us in the US market, because everyone is an opt-in customer due to the law. So yeah, you basically go where the fish are biting, you go there often.
Sure, but I mean, how do you ensure you have that personalization?
So it's based on first-party content, right? So if you don't have customer data, if you don't have more insights on customer data, we track every single engagement on a per customer level, so you can start learning about your customer more. So I'll give you an example. If Netflix were to use a Mobiz and they delivered a campaign to you on Friday and says, hey, we have top sports documentary, top action movie, and top romantic movie, which one do you like to watch? And based on what you selected, they will know who you are and what you like, right? Mm-hmm. But if they already have that data, then they can already say that, hey Nick, we know you love Formula One. Here's a top 3 Formula One documentary coming out this weekend, where engagement to me will look completely different.
Yeah. So last question: how do you? I mean, you spoke about your specialization and your differentiation from those big gorillas out there, you know, on there with their $430 million of fundraise. You know, how do you protect that? I mean, how much of a moat is that? I mean, you know, the guys are sitting on lots of cash. Can't they build that?
Yeah, so I mean, you look at this. So the biggest gorilla is Tencent Mobile. They've raised close to $1 billion in the past 2 years. $470 million just last month. But they are fighting the top echelon of marketers. You know, with brands like Sephora and Urban Outfitters. 60% of the revenue comes from professional services, and their package started at $425, where we start at $20. And the reason why we can start at $20 is because our platform is completely self-service, and secondly, we're scaling our client success team right out of Cape Town. That means we can onboard a customer at $6, where they can only onboard customers probably at $150. And that's why we think that the massive SMB space is where we like to skirmish the most. Now, the other one, Postscript, they are a Shopify plugin. So they purely focus on e-commerce, which is great. But because we've scaled in South Africa, we had to deal with all type of retailers, from in-store, brick and mortar to online. So we think that we have a pretty open space that is underserved, and we can scale into that space quite efficiently.
All right, thank you, Greg. We're out of time, unfortunately. Fantastic pitch.
Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
so yeah, cool. So next up we've got ReachRepublic, represented by Morgan Peterson. So Morgan, if you could step up on stage, please.
Sure, thank you very much.
Hi there, how are you?
Hey, hi guys, hi everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm going to share my screen in a second. Is that okay?
Please do.
Can you see the screen?
Not yet.
Let me know when you can see the ReachRepublic slide. Not yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, strange. Give me one sec. Try again.
All right, there you go. It's loading.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
All right, perfect. All right, just maximize your screen, then you are good to go.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys for having me.
Right.
All right, ready?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Excellent. So ReachRepublic is a licensed financial services provider and a distributor of insurance products on behalf of insurance companies. So we sell their products via our call center partners. We're developing a singular platform that will carry these products and link the customer to the product on one platform. So potentially we see a future Amazon model for fast-moving consumer financial services products. There are numerous problems associated with the distribution of fast-moving consumer products, financial services products. Essentially, the most obvious ones are, in most cases, these products sit on lumpy back-end systems, not sales-based workflow systems, making sales very difficult for call centers to achieve and scaling difficult for product owners. There are many other barriers to entry, including compliance barriers, technology challenges in the call centers, and long development life cycles at insurers. The solution is essentially to configure the products on one central ecosystem, one central platform that links all the distributors and product owners to the which is essentially the ReachRepublic proposition. This can also evolve into a financial services marketplace, and that's really where we see it as a customer-facing Amazon-style financial services marketplace, which is something that's quite unique and we believe is ready for explosion in the next five years as people adopt the purchase of these products online. We've packaged this proposition into our customer builder product for life insurers, and we've sold this to 3 insurers in the past few months. Essentially, the main components in the blue block on the left are lead generation, sales fulfillment, and technology. Leads, sales, and technology, which is the secret sauce of being able to make a policy sale in a call center environment at scale. Essentially, the business model, and from a revenue perspective, has multiple revenue streams already embedded in it. For example, commission as an intermediary, which we earn already, management fees of managing call centers, we earn already, percentage of premium, which we earn already, profit share, which will come next year, and then payment for the leads, the lead traffic that gets supplied into the call center environment for the sale of the product. The market opportunity is significant. This is just some stats from ACISA, who is actually a partner of ours. Just in South Africa alone, there's 14 million people who essentially are underinsured to the tune of about R1 million gap, R1 million cover, even in a reasonably mature market. So there's still a significant opportunity there. In terms of future growth, there are numerous projects that are in the pipeline. Basically, at the moment, we're scaling our call center operation, our call center seats from 30 seats to 80 seats in the next 4 months. And with our new client, who we perceive to be our largest client, called Microinsurance. They're a global reinsurer. We're busy planning the rollout of South African products, as well as outside of South Africa in their geographies. We're busy planning that for next year, the rollout of new products there. We've got some large names already on our books, just to give you a few, Sanlam, Avbob, but we're most particularly excited about Microinsurance, the new global player. We've got a great team of highly skilled people, lots of engineers and business folks and analysts, all specialists in the direct-to-consumer field. We're hoping to raise, we talk about 10 million, but we're hoping to raise significantly more than that, essentially to invest in the platform itself, so the click-to-config platform, and also to help the OpEx involved in the scale-up of our MIC global opportunity, as we will need some additional headcount. And that's it, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Morgan. Thank you very much. All right, let's jump into the Q&A session. We'll start with Hannah. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, thank you very much, Vagan. I think when you started to speak about fast-moving financial products, it was a bit difficult to get what you were, talking about. So I think it's important for you to define going forward when you present, and I suspect like life insurance and those kind of things, but it would be good if you could define that a bit better. And then how come your company is better and more competitive at placing products that than the internal departments of those big insurance companies, if I'm taking insurance companies, yeah.
Yeah, great example. So the large insurance companies have obviously got significant fixed costs. You know, they've got large buildings, large staff complements, layers of cost. And essentially they carry these significant fixed costs. If they need another 50 call center seats, they need to get a new building, right? Whereas if it's much easier for them to just employ our services, where we would provide that on largely a variable cost basis. So if they run out of capacity, we actually are an incremental variable sales channel that can switch on very quickly with leads, sales, and technology all embedded in the customer builder proposition.
Okay, I see that we have got Zipo from the Technology Innovation Agency with us. Zipo, do you have any questions for Morgan?
Oh, thank you, Papa. That was very clear. I'm happy for now.
Okay, fantastic.
Sorry, how much revenues are they generating? Oh, sorry. Were you asking a question? Sorry.
No, go ahead, Hannah. Go ahead.
All right. So this month we've already sold 510 policies this month, and our revenue this month will be in excess of R1 million for this month. And it's going to triple through the next quarter as we roll on additional call center capacity for the new insurers that we're busy building capacity for. So the beauty of the scale model is we can roll on call center seats 10 at a time very, very easily. So that's essentially where you see the tripling in revenue that we believe this year will occur. But at the moment, this month we will raise in commission and fees just north of R1 million.
Sorry, Vaughan, just on that scalability, you need bums on seats in order to do that. You need yes. People. How many people do you need? You know, what I mean, when do you run out of people? Is that an issue?
The issue is more running out of leads. Because as I say, to scale call center, we've got multiple call center partners. We have already 7 contracted call center partners that actually roll on seats for us. So for them, the great proposition is they don't need to get the campaign. They get the campaign all pre-packaged and essentially offer us the seat capacity. And the agents then essentially operate under our license, under our management. So the call center seats is not the limitation. The lead traffic is, and the quality of leads and the quantum of leads essentially is ultimately the limitation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Morgan. I have to stop you right there.
Sure.
All right, fantastic. So next up, we've got Pargo, and representing Pargo is its co-founder and CEO, Lars. Hi, Lars.
Hey, guys. Let me share my screen.
Please go for it. Okay, Lars, ready when you are.
Cool, thanks. 1 sec. Yeah, hi guys. I'm Lars, CEO and co-founder at Pargo. Pargo is a technology business in the logistics space, and we are building on the opportunity that we are seeing all around us in Africa. There's been a huge growth in terms of income. More and more people are seen as middle class and have a combined household spend of over $2 trillion. There's more than 1.2 billion people on the continent, of which more than 500 million now are seen as digital consumers. That means that they have a smartphone, they have internet access, and they can be buying online. And because of that, there's a huge market increase in the market, huge market opportunity of digital commerce that has been growing to over $109 billion predicted in 2025. Obviously, the effects of COVID have really helped to accelerate this. bringing us a huge opportunity, but also underlying is a big problem, and that is logistics. More and more people want to buy online, but are limited in terms of where they live. 75% of the population lives in areas that are not accessible by your traditional couriers, or they will only deliver it at a very high cost. On top of that, it's not very convenient to get things delivered to you because of the fact that a lot of the traditional courier companies don't work the way they should be working. In terms of the access, a big problem, as I said, is where people live. Think about townships, think about rural towns, and that's really the problem that we're trying to solve. The way we do that is we've built a logistics platform, so a technology platform on which we integrate different service providers. And on top of that, have built a network of pickup points, parcel pickup points at this point in time in South Africa, with over 3,000 stores that we use as these pickup points. By doing that, so we allow people to get parcels delivered to those stores and then collect them at their own convenience. As I said, we have over 3,000 pickup points in the country right now. These pickup points are set up at both well-known chains like TFG, Clicks, and Shell, but also at about 700 mom-and-pop stores or spaza shops in the townships, as they call them here. We've managed to grow the business quite a bit. We have, all the significant big players in the country. Maybe important here to highlight is, although we're trying to solve the e-commerce problem, we found that the problem we're solving is much wider. So we also have universities working with us, pharmaceutical companies working with us, banks, telecommunications, insurance. It's a really wide range of businesses. Our business model is that people pay us a per parcel fee, or they pay us a licensing fee, which we call Powered by Pargo. So we have both a SaaS model as a per parcel fee model. Besides the fact that we're a B2B business, so we focus on the big businesses trying to make last mile logistics better for them. We also have to deal with the end user, the consumer, and we're glad to say that people love us. So on Google and Facebook, we are, I think, one of the highest, if not the highest rated digital logistics company in Africa, with very, very raving reviews on the service. And we are now at that inflection point whereby we've had good growth in South Africa. We want to continue that growth in the country, but we're also ready to take that next step into Africa. So we are looking at increasing our sales and marketing in the country, growing further our pickup point network in the country, but also developing new products on top of just the pickup points. So we are transitioning from being just a pickup point or a click and collect company to being a company that operates in the complete last mile, including home deliveries and on-demand deliveries, two things we're launching as well. But as I said, besides that, we want to move into a new market, into Africa, and take that as a first step for our African expansion. And yeah, and our big vision and end of the day is to be the leading last mile logistics platform in Africa and be a key enabler for the e-commerce growth that we expect on the continent.
Great, thank you, Lars. Thank you very much. Nick, do you have any questions for Lars?
Yeah, Lars, tell us a little bit about your competition and why you're better than them.
So competition is, there's three types of competitors. The post office being the first. For the South Africans, I don't think I have to explain why we're better than them. They're basically that don't work. Your courier companies would be the second. They're our partners, but we also compete. The challenge that the courier companies have is that they are all set up, most of them in South Africa or even on the continent, are set up as big freight companies and have had to transition in being B2C businesses. And the technology, the understanding of what that means, the consumer experience is just not where it should be. So big competitive advantage is our technology stack that we have. And lastly is kind of the upcoming companies like us that are playing in the space, startups, mostly in the on-demand space. And I think there the big advantage we have is these on-demand deliveries are great if you live in a big city where still a lot happens. But the problem that we're really trying to solve is that accessibility, and your on-demand scooter driver will not be able to bring your deliveries 25 kilometers from Cape Town city center into Kailicha just because it's too far, it's too expensive, doesn't make sense. And I think that cost component is really our biggest competitive advantage. We can deliver anywhere in the country for a very, very competitive rate because of consolidation and because of the verified addresses at these pickup points.
And your drop-off points, what's that relationship? Do you pay them to drop off there, or how does that work?
Indeed, we pay them a fee per parcel, so a little revenue share. But the main reason they want to be pickup points, and when we have all these 3,000 agents, is the upsell opportunity towards the consumer. Up to 50% of consumers that collect a parcel would combine that with a purchase in store.
Great. Cool. Thank you.
Cool. Hannah, do you have any questions for Lars? Hi, Hannah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think Hannah's having connection problems.
How do you compare? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you now. Perfect.
So how do you compare yourself to Ninja Parcel, which has been acquired recently by a South African logistics company? Are you exactly a copy of that and you're trying to achieve the same thing, or?
No, so Parcel Ninja is a warehousing solution that has created a courier aggregator. We are a logistics platform, so we don't a courier aggregator. We don't show you. We are more of a virtual courier. We have selected partners that we work with, not all partners, and we are much more in that last mile space, especially in terms of the pickup points and the accessibility into these difficult areas.
Okay, thank you, Lars. I have to stop you right there. Thank you very much. All right, so the last company for today, last but definitely not least, is Sendmarc. And I call upon the co-founder, Sasha, to tell us more about it. Hi, Sasha.
Hi there, how are you guys doing?
Fantastic, how are you?
Good, good.
All right, great. Please share your screen with us, Sasha.
All right, here we go.
All right, fantastic. You start when you're ready.
Thank you. Yeah, so as you know, I'm Sasha. I'm from a company called Sendmarc, and our purpose at Sendmarc is to make the internet a safer place by helping you to trust email again. And in the war against cybercrime, we are focusing on one very specific problem, and that is that right now, a cybercriminal can send an email from just about any organization in the world. Now, this attack, which is called email impersonation, sometimes called spoofing or phishing, is the way that over 75% of online crime starts today, which costs the world hundreds of billions of dollars. So now if I'm a cyber criminal and I want to commit an attack like this, the first thing I start by doing is looking for a domain that is vulnerable. And so for this demonstration, I've taken AfricArena.com and scanned this domain and found that it is vulnerable to this type of attack. And at 12 o'clock today, I sent a successful impersonation attack from Leo at AfricArena.com. And in this email, I can attach a virus or a fake invoice and send it to any of the audience or clients of this brand or any other brand that's not protected. So this leads to deposit fraud, where a fake invoice gets paid to an attacker, or identity theft and data is stolen from audiences and clients and suppliers, ransomware distribution, and all in all, the brand and the reputation of the brand gets damaged for thousands, millions of businesses around the world. Now, Sendmarc stops email impersonation. Using our software and our best practice and processes, we stop this problem from happening on your domain. Okay, we are backed by a global standard that was adopted and enforced by the Department of Homeland Security in the US, then the EU, the UK, Australia, and it's also adopted by the largest email senders and receivers in the world. But it requires every single domain owner to physically adopt this policy, and that's what we do at Sendmarc. So by now, 2.5 million businesses around the world have adopted this policy and are protected. But in the countries where Sendmarc is trading, there are over 50 million companies. So you can see by that there are still 95% of businesses that need to be protected. So we have a lot of work ahead of us. How are we doing at that? So in the last 18 months, we've grown about 14 times. We now have over 1,300 customers using Sendmarc. 35 listed companies, makes us the leader in Africa. and we protect about 4 billion emails a year. Some of our customers include large law firms in South Africa, like Weber Wenzel, Bowman Gilfillan, CDH, but then listed companies on NASDAQ, like Concentrix. In Europe, we're protecting Prosus, which belongs to Naspers, one of the largest internet companies in the world. And then also leading technology companies have also recognized us as being the expert specialists in this field, like Altron, EOH, Data, etc. In our next raise, which will be early 2022, we're going to be raising $5 million to lock in our leadership position in South Africa and also launch in the EU. A couple of things that differentiate us from those out there that are competing against us. We've taken a partner first position, so we only work through our partnership distributors, like the likes of Altron, EOH, Data, and all of those around the world. We also guarantee our customers protection within the first 90 days, and that's something that no one else in the world can offer. And the reason we can do that is because we're using South African salary arbitrage and all the skills in South Africa that are untapped in this space to actually deliver a complete service to our customers. So just to show you how we are growing faster than some of our competitors, Proofpoint is one of the largest companies in the world in this space. They've raised about $80 million. And the time that it took them to get to number one in their top 900 companies in the EU or the UK, it's taken us a fraction of that time and a fraction of the funding as well. So we figured out how to grow faster than our competitors. Our big, hairy, audacious goal is to create thousands of jobs in South Africa for South African technicians, because once you're using our software, you also require a bit of human intervention. And so these individuals will be able to service brands all over the world as we begin protecting the millions that require protection around the world. The founding team, we are experienced in building software service businesses, like Everlytic was the largest email sending business in South Africa, and Telviva, the largest cloud telecom business in South Africa. And yet this is the most exciting journey we've been on yet. We encourage you all to please test your domain score by going to sendmarc.com. If you score a 3 or less out of 5, it means your domain can be impersonated and you've got work to do. Thank you,
Sasha. Thank you. All right, Hannah, do you have any questions for Sasha?
Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation and well done on your progress. Point number one, I feel like your presentation is maybe not enough focused on the technicality behind what you do or the technologies that you use. So clearly you don't want to share, like confidential information, but it would give you a bit more, substance if you were at least describing we are using this type of coding or software or whatever, and this is how it works. Now, why are you targeting the European Union as your next market compared to, I don't know, Asia, America, Latin America, which are also, or even Russia, I don't know, who are also subject to cyber criminality?
So, I mean, in the US, we already have a NASDAQ listed customer, so it's not that we're not targeting the US. It's simply that the EU is like an easy territory for us to enter from a time zone perspective. But the US is equally interesting to us. There are 22 million companies addressable in the United States and 27 million companies addressable in the European Union. So no reason to not go after those territories.
Great. Let's give a mic to Nick for any questions.
Thanks, Papama. Yeah, good presentation. I actually heard about you guys. Somebody that mentioned you the other day, and I think the demo included you spamming somebody's email as well. I get the impression, and you kind of alluded to the ability of your customers to do this themselves. Is that true, or and how do you ensure that you get that 95% of your customers out there? How do you ensure that you're able to actually go there and compete with the other players in this market, and also demonstrate that it's better for people to use you instead of doing it themselves, and do we have those skills in South Africa? You're talking about creating all these jobs in the South African market. Are these people there?
Yeah, so great question. I mean, so the power of the technology, and Hannah also asked about this, and we didn't have time to go into the detail of the technology, but it is a global standard. So yes, you can go and do it yourself, but you're not going to. It's a really difficult thing to get done on your own. You need a piece of software. So even if you try and do it on your own, you're going to need a piece of software like Sendmarc to give you the navigation. It would be almost like trying to fly a plane without any dials or any dashboard. So you definitely need a piece of software. So that's point number one. Clients that we see trying to do it themselves almost always fail to get protected. Hence, we've added the guarantee that they will be protected. So a lot of clients will pick up who are trying to do it themselves or using our competitors, don't become protected, and they're still a 3 out of 5 or worse on their domain score. And then we give them the guarantee that we will have them to a 5 out of 5 within 90 days. So that's something pretty special. The skills do exist in South Africa. We've been in technology a long time, hired hundreds of people and technicians in South Africa in our careers. So we know the skills are here. We know how to teach it and enable these people to do this job, and we're proving it. And you know, we're servicing customers all over the world successfully at the moment.
Sorry, just last question. I mean, at what point do I turn around to my email host or my web host and say, you know, this is your responsibility. You need to make sure that I'm protected. I mean, is that a risk to you?
Look, you could say that to them, but it's not their responsibility, and they have no way of giving you that protection, because you yourself have to decide which email senders you want to authorize. So you could turn around, if you're using Mimecast or Google or Microsoft, and say to them, guys, it's your problem. They're going to say to you, you know, I don't know how to help you here, Nick, because you're also using MailChimp, and you're using Sage, and you're using HubSpot, and you're using all these other things that are sending email for you. So it's not just Microsoft that's sending mail from your domain. So you have to use this global standard across everything you're using to send email. Even your own website, when a customer fills out a lead form on your website starts sending emails to you and to the customer. So even that's an email sender, which is, you know, needs to be protected. So we do that.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sasha. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
So guys, if you need to protect your domain, Sasha is your guy. All right, thank you so much to our 5 incredible companies that pitched today. Like, I know it's not easy to, you know, tell the whole world about your innovation within 5 minutes. So we really appreciate your efforts. And of course, to the judges as well, we really appreciate your time and your efforts. So now I'll hand over to Leo to close up this event and tell you more about our future activities. Leo, over to you.
Thank you very much, Papama. Thanks to the startups and the judges. Sasha, I did receive your email, but I've been smart enough to not send you my credit card details. It was actually my company's credit card details. So you see, I'm still safe. Smart enough. No. So you see, thanks to the entrepreneurs, thanks to the judges. That's indeed the end of this session. I just want to announce the winners of last week. We have among the winners of last week, so Zbos, Zambian startup, Frank, South African startup, Angular, a startup from Botswana, Locum-based, South African startup from Cape Town, Sorted, South African startup from Joburg, and Jubjack, South African startup from Cape Town as well. So that's it. Big thank you to our entrepreneurs, our judges, as well as the audience. I'm going to be running quickly the poll, so you guys in Zoom can vote to your favorite startup. The one in LinkedIn and YouTube, we will be, as I said, telling the votes. And yeah, that's the end of this event. Not claim more of your time. Thanks again to everyone, and we will be in touch. You can join us. You can contact us on our AfricArena website. You can answer any questions to the entrepreneurs. We'll be happy to share with you the judging sheets. We're just going to anonymize the name of the judges. And that's it. So I wish you a very good afternoon. Thanks again, and I hope to see you again in another event or just email thread or whatever. Thanks, guys. And
all the best.
Bye, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks.
Cheers, guys.
Bye bye.